Hello friends, I'm so glad to be back with you today. This week we're going to talk about week 14 from cycle 3. Some things that I have that we're going to use today. I have my map. If you have one of these at home, you can grab it. I have a race car again. I have some puppets. So if you have a stuffed animal or a mask, like one of these cute little guys, if you want something like that. I also have, if Mom might have these in the cabinet, I have some spaghetti noodles. And if you don't want spaghetti noodles all over the floor, you might want to grab a bowl. Those are some things that I think might help you. Other than that, we're going to get started and learn everything we can learn about cycle 3, week 14. Now it's time for timeline. So, we're going to talk about the cards. I'm going to show them to you, and then I have something special for this week in timeline. So the first one, we're at Columbus sails to the Caribbean. You can also say it Caribbean, but our song says Caribbean. Next, we have the age of absolute monarchs. Next up, we have the Protestant Reformation, Spanish conquistadors in the Americas, Calvin's Institute of the Christian Religion, Council of Trent, and the Baroque period of the arts. Now, if you're like me, I heard the song when I was singing that. So I'm going to play it while I show you the cards again. Age of absolute monarchs. Protestant Reformation. The Christian religion. Period of the arts. Okay, now, I have something for you. Since we're not together, I want you to get up from where you are. And if I stand up, you're not going to be able to see me. So I'm just going to pretend, but I want you to stand up where you are. And it kind of sounds like they're marching, right? So I want you to stand up, and we're going to sing it again, and we're going to kind of march, okay? Are you ready? To the Caribbean. So we're marching around the room. Sounds very strong. AD, 1500 AD, age of absolute monarchs, circa 1500 to circa 1800. Protestant Reformation, Spanish conquistadors in the Americas, Calvin's Institute of the Christian Religion, Council of Trent, Baroque period of the arts. And that's all we have for this week for timeline. So, because I had one of these last week and I don't have them later, I'm going to pull out another friend for you guys. Who do we have this week? I think we're going to do timeline with my friend Mr. Duck. So, let's look. What were we at again? Columbus sails to the Caribbean. The age of absolute monarchs, that was 1500 to 1800. The next timeline card was the Protestant Reformation. Up next, these people sounded very strong if you ask me. Spanish conquistadors in the Americas. Calvin's Institute of the Christian Religion. Council of Trent, and the Baroque, you got to kind of say it, Baroque period of the arts. Okay, I'm going to say it like a duck this time. If you have a mask or something, why don't you go grab it? If not, you can continue to march or act out the motions if you know them. Here we go. Oh, Sorry, gotta rewind. Here we go. The end. 180, 1580. Age of absolute monarchs. Reformation. Spanish conquistadors in the Americas. Calvin's Institute of the Christian Religion. Council of Trent. Baroque period of the arts. All right, guys, that's timeline. Make sure you're practicing and marching along. I don't really know if I sounded like a duck, but you like my mask, right? Right? Okay, see you later. This week in math, we're talking about linear equivalence. Now, I want you to think about that word linear. What does it make you think of? It makes me think of the word line. And if you thought that too, you're right. Linear equivalents are ways that we measure lines. Now, we can measure lines in centimeters or in inches, but we can also measure really, really big things in miles or kilometers. So when we're learning about our linear equivalents, we're seeing what maybe a centimeter and an inch, but they might measure the same thing. So when you look at a ruler, the inches are the numbers that are a little more spaced out, and the centimeters are the ones that are really close together. But we could measure a line, and we could say it was this many inches, or we could say it was this many centimeters. So we're going to learn a song that helps us remember our linear equivalents. It goes like this. 2.54 centimeters equals 1 inch. 12 inches equals 1 foot. 5,280 feet equals 1 mile. And 1 kilometer is 5/8 of a mile. I'm going to sing it again. 2.54 centimeters equals 1 inch. 12 inches equals 1 foot. 5,280 feet equals 1 mile. 1 kilometer equals 5/8 of a mile. So I want you to think of something in your head. I want you to think of something that's about an inch. Or what would you use to measure an inch? It might be something small, like a piece of paper, or maybe a little bitty race car, something like that. Then I want you to think about something that's really, really far away. You would measure that in miles, like maybe from here to school, or from here to the library, or maybe even from here to a different state. We would measure those things in miles or kilometers. So let's sing it again. 2.54 centimeters equals 1 inch. 12 inches equals 1 foot. 5,280 feet equals 1 mile. 1 kilometer equals 5/8 of a mile. I've also got this really cute picture to show you. So we're going to sing it one more time so you can look at this with me. 2.54 centimeters equals 1 inch. 12 inches equals 1 foot. 5,280 feet equals 1 mile. And 1 kilometer equals 5/8 of a mile. Don't forget to keep practicing that song. Okay, this week for English, our irregular verb tense word that we're going to talk about is to break. And I've got something fun for you. Remember our signs that we did last week? The infinitive is to break. The present tense is break or breaks. In the past tense, I broke. In present participle, breaking. Past participle is broken. Let's do these one more time. To break, break or breaks, broke, breaking, broken. Now, I've got some spaghetti noodles to break. I've got some spaghetti noodles to break. So, I break the noodles. That just went all over this room. Present participle is, don't worry, I've got some more. I am breaking these noodles. The noodles in this bowl are broken. Let's try that again. Ready? to break. Now this time we're going to use breaks. You could say, she breaks the noodles when she cooks them for spaghetti. She broke the noodles before dinner. Miss Megan is breaking all of these noodles. The noodles in my bowl are broken. Hope you had fun with that. Let's try it one more time. This time I have one more. You ready? I break the noodles. I broke a bunch of noodles. I am breaking the noodles right now. These noodles are all broken. Okay, this week in geography, we're talking about the Northwest Mountains. You can see I've marked them over here in the northwest corner of the United States. The Cascade Mountains are in green. Mount Rainier is in red. Mount St. Helens is in blue. And Denali is in black. We're going to sing a song. It goes like this. We're going over the mountains. We're going over the mountains. We're going over the mountains to see what we can see. To see what we can see. And all that we could see are the Cascade Mountains, Mount Rainier, Mount St. Helens, and Denali. Let's do it again. We're going over the mountains, the Northwest Mountains. We're going over the mountains to see what we can see. And all that we can see, and all that we can see are the Cascade Mountains, Mount Rainier, Mount St. Helens, and Denali. Now, to take a break from singing, I have my little green car. I really don't think he would make it over the real mountains, but we're going to try. So the Northwest Mountains are the Cascade Mountains. Then he's going to turn around and go to Mount Rainier, Mount St. Helens, and Denali in Africa, in Alaska. All right, we're going to sing it one more time. We're going over the mountains, the Northwest Mountains. We're going over the mountains to see what we can see. And all that we can see, and all that we can see are the Cascade Mountains, Mount Rainier, Mount St. Helens, and Denali. Now it's time for history. Our sentence says, tell me about tycoons. I'm going to teach you a few motions and then we'll learn the song. During the 1800s, tycoons like Vanderbilt, Carnegie, Rockefeller, and Swift fueled the nation's industrial age by developing American resources. When we think about resources, we're passing things out. Those are things that we need, okay? So during the late 1800s, tycoons like Vanderbilt, Rockefeller, Carnegie, and Swift fueled the nation's industrial age by developing American resources. All right, let's say it one more time, and then we'll hear the song. Okay?
Tell me about tycoons. During the late 1800s, tycoons like Vanderbilt, Rockefeller, Carnegie, and Swift fueled the nation's industrial age by developing American resources.
All right, here comes the song.
During the late 1800s, tycoons like Vanderbilt, Rockefeller, Carnegie, and Swift fueled the nation's industrial age by developing American resources.
One more time.
During the late 1800s, tycoons like Vanderbilt, Rockefeller, Carnegie, and Swift fueled the nation's industrial age by developing American resources.
All right, let's see if we can sing it one more time by ourselves. During the late 1800s, tycoons like Vanderbilt, Rockefeller, Carnegie, and Swift fueled the nation's industrial age by developing American resources. One more time and make sure you're practicing with me. During the late 1800s, tycoons like Vanderbilt, Rockefeller, Carnegie, and Swift fueled the nation's industrial age by developing American resources. Now it's time for science. In science this week, our question is, what is an element? Now, an element is a basic chemical substance defined by its atomic number and atomic mass. What does that mean? So, we have this periodic table of elements. There's a whole lot of information here. If we take one of these squares, that's an element. So we're going to take this square right here. So this element is a chemical substance that's defined by its atomic number and its atomic mass. Now, this is not an atom of hydrogen. This is just a picture, a card for us to remember or us to help us learn. So this is the atomic number and this is the atomic mass. So an element is a basic chemical substance defined by its atomic number and its atomic mass. Now we're going to learn a song, and we all know how great I can sing. So I'm going to bring along my friend, Mr. Sheep. She likes to sing really high, and that's what one of our words in this song does. So our song goes, what is an element? An element is a basic chemical substance defined by its atomic number and atomic mass. And remember, if you make your voice go really high, don't break the windows. So let's try that again. What is an element? An element is a basic chemical substance defined by its atomic number and atomic mass. Whew, she can go pretty high. Let's do it again. And moms will have a link to this that you can click on it, and it goes right along with our song that we learned last week about an atom. This week is an element, so here we go. What is an element? An element is a basic chemical substance defined by its atomic number and atomic mass. I think she's got it. I think we could do it one more time. What do you guys think? You think it's okay? All right, here we go. What is an element? An element is a basic chemical substance defined by its atomic number and atomic mass. I want to hear you guys singing that next time I see you. Now it's time for Latin. This week we're talking about John 1:2. I have our flashcards again, so we're going to sound these out. And remember, the letters make different sounds in Latin than they do in English. So we have hoc erat in principio apud Deum. Hoc erat in principio apud Deum. That means the same was in the beginning with God. So we're going to say hoc erat in principio apud Deum. See, I kind of think that C should sound like a S, but in Latin it makes a K sound. So let's try it again. Hoc erat in principio apud Deum. The same was in the beginning with God. We're going to do it one more time. Hoc erat in principio apud Deum. The same was in the beginning with God. Whew, that was a lot of work. We're going to try to go over one more time everything that we did today just to review. So the first thing we're going to review is timeline. We did Columbus sails to the Caribbean. Dun 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 dun. 1500 AD, 1500 AD, age of absolute monarchs and the Protestant Reformation, Spanish conquistadors in the Americas, Calvin's Institute of the Christian Religion, Council of Trent, Baroque period. Oh, you remember what I forgot? Baroque period of the arts. All right, next up we did math. And remember, we did 2.54 centimeters equals 1 inch. 12 inches equals 1 foot. 5,280 feet equals 1 mile. 1 kilometer equals 5/8 of a mile. The next thing we learned about history. Tell me about the tycoons. During the late 1800s, tycoons like Vanderbilt, Rockefeller, Carnegie, and Swift fueled the nation's industrial age by developing American resources. Okay, we talked about the Northwest Mountains. Remember, that one was a song, but we had our Cascade Mountains, Mount Rainier, Mount St. Helens, and Denali. Then in science, we said, what is an element? An element is the basic chemical substance defined by its atomic number and atomic mass. We used our spaghetti noodles to talk about English. To break, broke, breaking, broken. And in Latin, we practiced John 1:2 to add on to last week, which was John 1:1. So this week, John 1:2 was Hoc erat in principio apud Deum. The same was in the beginning with God. I hope you enjoyed all of this review, and I hope you enjoy this video. I can't wait to see you next week. Bye!